Good morning. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another edition of the Morning Breeze, man. Always rocking with you guys, as always, man. Outside of me, I got my guy, Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, in the building. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love to another edition of the Morning Breeze. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. If you have not hit that like button, man, go ahead and do that for us.
Yes, sir.
We were just talking about how the Chicago Bears fixed their communication issues, but the Bears may be communicating something else in the trade talks with some of the struggles that they got going on this team right now. And possibly having to tell Keenan Allen he's going to be a Chief. That's what Peter Schrager brings up in this in Good Morning Football. Names that he just mentioned on Good Morning Football that could possibly be at least worth calling on if you're Brett Veach from Kansas City. Of course, this stems from the situation with Rashee Rice, where he is not going to be available for the most part. Amari Cooper, Jalen Hyatt, Cooper Kupp, Keenan Allen said that KC is now down there running back 1, wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 for the foreseeable future. Fascinating few days for the two-time defending champs. Is there a scenario, JC, where you see the Chicago Bears taking a call from Brett Veach and the Kansas City Chiefs, who, I mean, probably would call because, I mean, Ryan Poles, you know, the connection is there. So I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility that they call on it. But would you see the Chicago Bears moving on from Keenan Allen?
Well, I mean, you know, as you mentioned, you know, Ryan Poles does have a good working relationship with his former team that he's worked for. They clearly have a needed wide receiver. We just talked about all the guys that are just down and out for the count, unfortunately, with, you know, Xavier Worthy and I think Juju Smith-Schuster being their best options now.
Yeah.
You know, outside of Travis Kelce.
Which for fantasy purposes,
what do you got for
Xavier Worthy owner for
you picked
fantasy
Xavier?
purposes?
Did you draft Xavier Worthy?
I did draft Xavier Worthy late. I drafted Xavier Worthy in my keeper league after the 10th round. So for fantasy purposes,
all right, you're doing pretty good. I did pick up Carson Steele and Kareem Hunt just to make sure.
I got Carson Steele as well in another
Looks like
league.
They might be going back in the time machine. I think Kareem Hunt might be getting the snaps.
Yeah, I'm dropping
based
Carson
off of the last
Steele.
game.
He fumbled and they were like, "Get
get out of here!" Short leash. But do I think that they will take the call? Yes, I think they will listen up. And here's another reason why I say that, because if we're talking about for offensive line purposes for the Bears, there's a couple of names on this Chiefs team that I sure would love to that can address some deficiencies on the offensive line. Now, I'm not saying this could be realistic, but hey, let's just throw it out there since Peter Schrager wants to get you know, a little fancy. I want to get fancy too. I'm going to be asking for Creed Humphrey back if they want Keenan Allen. If you look at his PFF grades, his run block grade is 93.1 and his passing grade is at 80.1. He's a 92.7 overall in PFF, probably one of the best centers in the league. If you want to give Keenan Allen and say your second round pick from Carolina for next year, which is probably going to be the top pick in the second round, let's talk.
Yeah, nah.
Come on.
Yeah,
Come on, Pat.
I tried. I literally was gonna go like, well, maybe for the top pick in the second round and Keenan Allen, you're not getting Creed Humphreys out of them. I die. Like, nah, that's not gonna happen.
That's fine. I was shooting high first. Okay, that's fine. Let's come down a few pegs. We know we need a center, but we also know we need a guard. You see, some of the people in the chat are talking. They know exactly where I'm going. Kirk Pabalade, Trey Smith, baby. He's second on this list. 84.1 passing grade, blocking grade, 62.8, but overall 86.6 in PFF. All right, that guy probably can replace Nate Davis in his sleep right now. Let's do it.
Listen, If he pulls off a trade where he sends Keenan Allen and a draft pick for an offensive lineman that is of any ilk,
You
yeah, you got to
dang
say
right.
that because he loves a backup right guard. You know what I mean? This guy can't get enough of a backup to a backup. If he pulls that off, we will then again dub him King Poles because
That would be epic. Of
that
course,
that would
I'm
be like
trading
it's like how did you just fleece the Kansas City Chiefs like this?
one of the best
You
organizations
know what
ever.
I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's a fleece, dog. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that it is a realistic scenario where the Chicago Bears go out there and they fix their offensive line woes based on this. I think the more than likely scenario is you end up getting back a draft pick.
Yeah,
And
more than
possibly a
likely.
draft pick that is higher than what the Chicago Bears sent out. I think because of the need and because of the likelihood that most of these other teams probably are not trading their wide receivers either, right? You're probably not trading Amari Cooper. You're probably not trading Jalen Hyatt. You're definitely not trading Cooper Kupp. I guess maybe Cooper Kupp could be in there because of the Puka Nakua setup. But I mean, Cooper Kupp's hurt too. Like, why would they trade for somebody who's hurt? Well, I guess Keenan Allen's been hurt as well. So like, there is that. But I think the more than likely scenarios, you'd probably get back some draft capital. You'd probably get back draft
No.
capital that is guaranteed to be higher than what you sent out. And that's really what the Keenan Allen move is to me. One, you're able to go, and I think that's the thing. I don't think people understand the long term of the Keenan Allen move to me.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with Keenan Allen being here. The long term of the Keenan Allen move, in my mind, is and how I think Ryan Poles approached it is I'm going to trade a fourth. I get the compensatory pick. The worst case scenario is I get Keenan Allen.
There is that.
And then I let him go and I get a compensatory pick. The best case scenario is I get Keenan Allen. He's still Keenan Allen of the past. He's phenomenal. We work out a nice deal, and I've got Keenan Allen long term. But I don't think that you're tied to Keenan Allen right now because of this elite wide receiver that he once was. I think that the move was to say the worst thing I'm getting this season is Keenan Allen, and I probably get a compensatory pick, which could be a 4th round pick. But maybe if he balls out again, I get a 3rd round pick, right? Like that's what this is in my mind. It was I'm going to get this guy to flip this guy for a better pick to come back my way. It was a picks deal anyway. And so now I don't believe that the Bears will trade Keenan Allen. I don't believe that they'll move off of Keenan Allen.
Realistically, no.
I think that he's going to be here and they want him here for the development of Caleb Williams. You see what he brought back to that game. And I know everybody's looking at just the receiving yards and the receiving contribution. No, it was the leadership that you saw in that second half between him and DJ Moore, the ability to go out there and even while hurt, still be one of the better blockers on the field. The ability while hurt to still be a 3rd down conversion guy. You know, like that's why he's here, to be a safety blanket kind of for your rookie and to get everybody else in the right gear. But if Kansas City comes offering like a 2nd round pick,
oh boy,
because they're desperate. Let's not get it twisted. They
are desperate.
Unless Xavier Worthy, who I think is going to be a heavily used, is going to be an Xavier Worthy week.
Yeah,
turns into something where they're going to get
Tyreek Hill.
You know what I mean? Turns into a Tyreek Hill type of player. You're probably not feeling very comfortable. You're probably feeling in more of a desperation situation. And let's be real, they're going for it.
Yeah.
They want to win that 3rd Super Bowl in a row. No team ever has done that. Yeah, no team has won 3 in a row. In the modern Super Bowl era, I should say, maybe. I'm sure there's 3 championships in a row. Is that facts?
I was gonna say, what was the team that got there about 3 or 4 times with Jim?
Well, that was the Bills. They lost.
Yeah, but they never left. They never won. Yeah.
Yeah, no NFL team has won 3. I don't know why they've been blank because I woke up 20 minutes ago. No NFL team has won 3 consecutive Super Bowls, and the Kansas City Chiefs could become the first. They're going for that record. And so you may get a little bit more out of it because of the desperation that they may be. And they're not thinking in the mindset of, well, the long term of this could affect us. In the long term, we got Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
In the
That's still our
long
quarterback.
term, we still got all the offensive linemen that were previously named, Creed Humphrey, stuff like that. In the long term, we got a young Xavier Worthy. In the long term, we've got, you know what I mean? So I think that if Xavier Worthy doesn't come out there and immediately ball out and he's not dominating, right? Like that is a scenario in my mind where the Bears could actually get creative and possibly get a higher draft pick back for Keenan Allen than maybe what you could in the comp pick. But then you have to kind of assess, okay, what is Keenan Allen? What is his value to a young quarterback? And
That
is
was
that worth more in the long term than whatever that second round pick could be?
Yeah, that's the dilemma here, right? If we're going to put this scenario out there for real, is that second round pick? I feel like that's a huge overvalue for Keenan Allen at this point. Even though we know Keenan Allen just came off of a really good season, a 6-time Pro Bowler, is a guy that can kind of bring that steady offense, a guy that's reliable. At this point, he's still a vet wide receiver. He's coming into like the last couple of years of, in a sense, of his career as a really good receiver. And so a second round pick is, man, that is getting desperate. I would assume like on a normal trade, he's probably worth maybe fourth, third
Well,
at the
yeah, the one we
most. Third
traded him
at the
for.
most. Yeah. Yeah. So you cut that in half, you get in the second round. That's very enticing. But does that outweigh the mentorship, the leadership that he brings to the team now for a rising star like Caleb Williams? To me, I feel like you don't rattle the cage with that right now. I feel like he's more valuable to this team as constructed now because, as you mentioned, didn't really blow us away with the yardage, the other day. But he did the little things that led to a win. And if you saw even on the sideline when Caleb was showing his leadership skills, talking to DJ, Keenan was right there. Keenan had his voice as well heard. And you've seen that multiple times where Keenan is trying to show Caleb Williams, even when I believe he was out a few games, he was talking to him on the sideline of how to improve. And so that's very pivotal for a young quarterback to hear from a mentor because you're not going to get that from DJ, in my opinion. DJ's not that kind of guy, in my opinion, where he's going to come and bring Caleb to the side and say, "Hey, this is where we need to improve." We've
Right.
already seen it. DJ's kind of like to himself. He's a quiet. He goes about his business a different way. You're definitely not going to get that from Roma Dunze as a rookie. So Keenan Allen, as far as this wide receiving core, is that guy that needs to be that mentor, is that guy that needs to be that leader in the locker room that you need this year while we try to figure out all the different deficiencies, on this team. So I believe he's more valuable with this team standing pat.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that I don't know. That is tough. Listen, I'm not gonna sit here and say if you offer me a second, I'm not looking at it, but I
I'm
do look
looking
at
at it.
I
I'm
do
looking
look at
at
the
it.
value. I mean, listen, that's a deal.
Because then you got to also keep in mind,
That's
like
tough,
you're
dog.
you're you're
I don't know
taking a
if I
chance on
can't
the
take that.
season.
I don't know if I can't take that. Right?
You're
Because
taking a chance on the season.
if you don't sign him at the end of the year, unless you feel that his impact on Caleb is astronomical, right? That's the only way I see it. If you feel that his impact on Caleb is astronomical, that's different. Like it's literally like this guy's night and day,
Yeah.
and we're still gonna get a pick out of it anyway. I think that would be looked at as tough though if we get to the end of the year and you let Keenan Allen walk, and all of a sudden you're sitting there going, "Yeah, we probably could have had a second round pick, but instead we got a third." You know what I mean? Like that's the only thing that I think would make this a little bit tougher. By the way, over 200 in the
Oh, let's
chat.
go, baby.
200. You know what I mean? Like that's the only thing for me that I think makes it difficult to just say, well, it's simple to just keep Keenan Allen no matter the situation. But again,
Right.
that's if the Chiefs are desperate. I don't think you're going to hear anything about this kind of deal until we see a couple of weeks of Xavier Worthy probably leading the way. And guess what the Chiefs are really good at? Finding wide receivers that end up being fine. You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
Chiefs are really good at finding a guy that is like, who was this guy? We don't know. What's he good at? We don't know. Look at that. He's got 9 touchdowns in 2 weeks. So like, I think that there is some of that, and I think now you'll get to see Xavier Worthy probably show a little bit more of the receiving skills that he didn't get an opportunity, hasn't had an opportunity to show. He's really just kind of been your deep threat wide receiver for the most part with that team. Take the top off type of wide receiver.
He has
I think
more
he
to
can
him.
still be that, but now, he had more tools in college. I think now you'll get to see him, utilize some of those tools as well. So we'll see we'll see, kind of what they do. I think it all stems from that, though. I don't think that there's a call. I don't think that there's a deal being worked out. I don't think that there's anything happening until you find out whether you've got guys on your team already that can play.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's the beginning and the end of the conversation there. It's all fantasy. I do think they will call. I do think that there will be a conversation between Poles and Veach, but I don't think that it ends up getting anything done. So that's my opinion on it. Let us know how you guys feel in the comments below. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love as always, man. Hit that like button if you have not done so. Subscribe to the page. Leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do.